Advocate Capital client Karl Truman is up next. Stay tuned. Karl, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me on your video.
Yeah, you bet. So, Karl, you've been a client of ours for quite a number of years. First of all, thank you for that. But I'd like to ask your opinion on a couple things. If a law firm was considering becoming a client of ours, but they said, well, I don't need the money, what would you tell them?
Well, yes, Mike, and I have been a client for several years now, and Advocate Capital has always been great to deal with, and everybody's been very responsive,
Thank you.
very friendly to work with. And one of the things that unique products that I think Advocate Capital has, the reason that I've been a client for so long, is the case expense funding product that you have.
Right.
And having funding available, even if we don't use it, is kind of like an insurance policy. You know, we hope we never have to use it, but it's there as a security blanket if we do need it. But one of the unique products, again, is the case expense portion, because it is, of course, neither you nor I are tax advisors, and we're not going to give tax advice, but
No.
as an attorney, we all know that we cannot deduct our case expenses, which can be substantial.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the products that Advocate Capital has that I take advantage of is the case expense funding part, because it allows, rather than tying up capital, basically after taxes to pay for case expenses, then I'm able to use those resources for other things, such as infrastructure and advertising. And one of the unique aspects of Advocate Capital's product that I like is to be able to track the interest charges per client, because there's a lot of, as we know, there's a lot of ethical restrictions about charging and versus trying to just use a personal line of credit and being able to pass that through.
Yeah.
So with the Advocate Capital product, we can itemize that specific client, which is a tremendous help.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that interest pass-through concept, because some law firms are interested in using our case expense funding product, but they say, well, I'm concerned that at the end of the case my client will object to the borrowing costs being on the settlement statement. What's your experience been?
We've had very few clients that have had concerns about it. I think it's the key is transparency, disclosure, which is always our goal in everything we do with clients, and letting them know right up front about the interest charges. And so I think as long as the client is informed, and it also depends on the type of case. Certainly if it's a relatively small value case, you have to be concerned about having substantial case expenses anyway,
right,
versus a more substantial case. So it's all varies, and so it has to be addressed on a case-by-case basis.
Mm-hmm. Well, some clients, other clients that we have told me that actually having our capital available has helped them in some cases get even better results for their clients. Has that happened with you at all?
Well, I think again the key there is be able to have the resources, and so again you're not tying up your personal resources and funding to be able to advance cases, which we all know can get very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And you start hiring medical doctors and accident reconstructionists and engineers. Some of these cases can become quite costly. And at the end of the case, of course, my fee agreement, as with all my cases, if my client does not recover, then they don't owe me anything. They don't owe me for the case expenses either.
Good point. Well, Karl, thanks again for being our customer and for taking time out of your day to share your experience with us.
Thank you, Mike.